Hi, my name's Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and today I'm going to show you how to use the new cross-stitch kits for beginners that I have at my website. So this is what the finished kit looks like. It's got a little bit of color printed behind all of the X's. A traditional cross-stitch pattern just has the X's, and you're usually counting it. There's nothing printed on the fabric, so you're following a map, which can be hard for the youngest stitchers, and I really was designing this for young beginners. This is what the pattern looks like. It has all of the X's actually printed in the design so that kids can just stitch their X's over the X's that are printed on the fabric. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do with the cat one. So this is the cat pattern, and I've already got it in a hoop. And you're going to come, the kit is going to come with 3 colors of thread. It's going to come with a light gray and a darker gray and black. And you'll just choose the thread to stitch over the section that's already in that color. So I'm going to start up in this corner with the light gray. So I've threaded my needle with light gray thread. I went ahead and tied a knot in my thread. There are some purists who think you should never tie knots on the back of your embroidery. I think knots are really easy, especially for kids, so that's what I'm going to do here. So you're going to come up in the bottom corner of that first square, and you're just going to do the first stitch. So you do the bottom stroke of the X, and then you come in and you do the top stroke of the X. That is one cross stitch. Now, when you do a pattern like this, you work in rows. So I'm going to go down to the next row. The thing that's the most important thing to remember when you're doing cross stitch is to always do your stitches slanting in the same direction. So for my first stitch, the bottom stitch slanted forward and the top stitch slanted backwards. I'm going to repeat that for every single X that I make in the entire project. You can do it backwards and it's not the end of the world, but your finished project is going to look just a little bit weird and wonky. The light hits the thread differently, and you really can see the difference. So I'm going to try and go into the same exact hole that I came up on that one as I'm crossing this. Ideally, you want all 4 threads to go into the same hole at the corner of each box. So I'm going to do 1 stitch slanted forward, and then the second one slanted forward, and then I'm going to go back and cross all of my X's in this row. And again, I'm trying to go right in that same hole there. And here I'm trying to go in the same hole that that thread comes out of. And I've got 2 rows done. I'm going to show you just one more row. Come up in the bottom. Again, I'm always slanting my first stitches forward. And anytime there's already a thread in a corner, I'm going to try and go into the same hole. That's just going to keep my stitches nice and lined up. And now I'm going to go back and cross all of them. So I'm just going to keep doing this all the way until I finish this whole chunk of light gray that you see here. And then I would probably go down and go ahead and stitch my other light gray stripes too before I even pick up another color thread. Then I would go in and do all of my dark gray, and then I would do the black last. The reason I would do the black last is because your whiskers and your little mouth that you stitch are going to go on top of your X's. So you want to get all of your X's stitched first in this light gray, and then at the end you'll go over this with just one big stitch for each of these lines. And that's it. Just keep filling in the sections, stitching over every single X until you have all of the X's finished in the whole kit. So that's it. This is a really, really super easy version of cross stitch that I designed especially for young beginners, although it's also fun for people who have done regular cross stitch too. I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World. I'll see you next time.